How's it going, everyone? I'm Contemption, and wow, we've seen a lot of things pop up in the last 24 hours. I was actually uploading my last video last night when the new update launched, and I was reading through the patch notes and I thought to myself, wow, I should really re-record, but it was like 10 o'clock at night, so I figured, nah, I've got to wake up and go to work, so we're not going to do that. So I am here now. I'm going to talk about the patch updates. I'm also going to just talk quickly about the new commanders. I think they're fantastic. As an infantry player, I'm definitely looking forward to them. I'm not overly excited about the redo of Scipio, which is what it is. It kind of feels like they ran out of historical figures, which they really shouldn't have because there's so many more to choose from. But that's okay. We'll go over all that. I think his skills are fantastic. It's going to change what I'm doing over the next few weeks. And I think it should change what you're doing as well. So we'll go over all of that. Thank you for checking out the video. Please do hit the like and subscribe, especially if you're returning. If you've watched my videos before and you keep watching them and you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do. It really does help. But for now, here we go. Let's get through the intro and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so typically what I am doing, and of course my gem farmers are going to be coming back now, so I will talk as I quickly scroll through, really quickly scroll through the map and grab some more gems. I gem farm a lot. I also spend in the game, so as you can tell, my gems are at 136,000. I typically spend those on equipment and material events, and that's because I'm still working equipment and material. I have a good amount of commanders. So I don't usually spend on the wheel. I've finished Ramses. I finished Gilgamesh. I'm not doing cavalry. I'm just not. I know Nevsky is fantastic, but I also don't have XY. I don't have a lot of cavalry commanders like William. I don't have Attila. I don't have Takeda. I don't have a lot of cavalry commanders. So for me to start Alexander Nevsky does not make a whole lot of sense. So I figured I would wait for the new infantry commanders. But I did. I'm surprised I have this many gems, and it's mostly because I pushed Crystal Tech. But as everybody has seen, and it's easy for everybody to look at, unfortunately on the beta version, it's not fantastic to see the commander skills in here. But you can see them. There is this fella named, I'm going to get it wrong, Flavius. It's probably, I don't know. Probably something totally different. Flavius Adius? I don't know. He's infantry, garrison, skill commander. Everybody can see these skills. I really like how they introduced this with the new commanders. I really appreciate it. Instead of having to try and dig through, either Facebook or Instagram, they pop it right in game. Everybody can look at it. I think it's great. Take a look at it. It's definitely a garrison commander. It's not somebody I'm going to work initially. Obviously, I'll wait to see what the testing looks like. Maybe he's going to be good in the field. Maybe he could be paired with a commander I already have, and all of a sudden I can be a garrison player. That could be cool. I don't max Crystal Tech, so I don't think I would be the best garrison player, but having the ability to jump in a flag if the Alliance or Kingdom needs it would be great. Everybody, of course, is talking about Scipio Africanus. He is a redo. And I'll pop into, of course, I got to hit the exit button. We'll jump back in there in a second. Everybody knows he's already right here. Exact same name. I think there's even a skill in here that follows the exact same. Maybe it's his, which skill was it? There's a skill in here, I believe, that is actually a redo of the skills that they released. So that's interesting. But let's just pop back in here. All you do is you go into official. Once you're in here, very easy to get in here. Hit that button, and then they're all here. So we've got a bunch of fantastic skills. He looks incredible. He does a lot of damage. He does it in a forward fan-facing area. He gets a buff from pretty much everything from march speed to attack to skill damage to everything. I think the most important one that people are looking at is the new skill Fiery Rage, which is when the target is silenced, rage grows 30% faster. So everybody's thinking that Scipio Africanus is going to go behind Guan. And why is he going to go behind Guan? Because obviously Guan has silence for 3 seconds. So you're going to be gaining a lot of rage for 3 seconds, as well as doing a lot more damage out in open field. He can be a secondary and it doesn't get nuked like Guan does, where it does half as much damage factor. So it's pretty crazy to think of Guan and Scipio out in the field, the new, I guess, version 2 Scipio as a legendary out in open field. They are going to do a crazy amount of damage. It means that Guan is going to be a huge target again. He obviously is a big target out in open field, but everybody right now is going for XY Nevsky or Naboo YSG, or if they see Gilgamesh, they go for him quite frequently. So there's a lot of targets right now that hide Guan, but Guan is going to be front and center in the near future. And oh, look at that, my cursor has changed to the form thing. There's a lot of bugs still in the beta version. And I imagine they'll fix that before they do the official release, or at least we'll see a bunch of updates afterwards. Okay, let's quickly find a gem tile here. It hasn't been too hard to find them because I'm in zone 4. I teleported away, obviously, out of the war area so that I could go back to farming gems, because we knew that either equipment event was going to come up or the new infantry commanders were going to be dropped. Now, Scipio is likely going to be from the Wheel of Fortune. That's typically how it runs, is that, well, let me just go here, and 4, and we'll go in. So typically somebody like Constantine, garrison commander, with the support tree comes from Mightiest Governor. Somebody like, oh, who's another good example of who comes out of Mightiest Governor recently? I think that would be Artemisia. Where is she here? There's a Manatori. Oh, there we go. A Manatori here. She comes from, where is it? The Mightiest Governor. She's a garrison commander. So it's more than likely that we will be seeing Scipio as the wheel commander, and oh, I've already forgotten his name. Let's jump in here again quickly. Again, it's super easy to get into. I really like this. Flavius Edius. Totally saying that wrong. He will likely be the Mightiest Governor commander. So I will probably work him in the future if I get a Mightiest Governor spot. He needs some testing. We need to see how that works. But I think he could be a great addition to my infantry marches as well. I do have a lot of infantry, so it'd be nice to have even more to choose from. Maybe he'll be good hiding behind somebody, or even front and center with maybe Mulan behind him. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I really want to see testing. I am going to go for Scipio no matter what. Just based on what skills we've seen. He's a wheel commander. I have gems. I think this is a great time to transition away from gear for a little bit and jump back into a commander to get this guy unlocked, to get him expertise as quickly as possible. Because especially during KVK, he's going to be very, very well utilized. He's going to do a lot of damage. It's going to be a lot of fun. Probably have to play around with hiding him if Guan becomes too much of a target. But we'll see what happens. Okay, I'm going to go over this quickly because I do not like guessing. I don't like speculating. I don't like doing that just because so many things, and yes, I got some VIP rewards, which was nice. There's so many things that could change. There's so many things that might be lost in translation between Chinese and then switching over to English. That happens all the time. So I don't want to go too in depth into it. But it's obvious that this is going to change things a lot. We are going to have different, where does it say it here? Where, determined by season of Lost Kingdom, the kingdom is currently in. So there's different tiers of how this system is going to work. I'm very curious to see. But what is it going to change for me right now? There's a couple things you really want to pay attention to. And it really stinks that I've been using my Lost Canyon coins. I don't know if it's going to change in our Lost Kingdom because the patch is coming out midway through our KVK. But it may be the case that when we log in, the shop all of a sudden has these. And it says right in here, complete quests to gain rewards, including iconic crystals. Iconic crystals can also be purchased from the Lost Canyon shop, which is definitely a bummer because, and obviously my placement has not been great. When you're talking about people who have Nevsky and Williams and Trajan commanders, I just don't have finished. I can't compete. I just can't. I don't have Trajan. I don't have Bakal. I don't have Amanatori, Artemisia. Yes, I've got, Richard, Constantine, Guan, Alex, Naboo, YSG, but really Trajan is really, like, look at this. You got Mulan in there. You've got XY Nevsky. I just can't compete with a lot of these whales. So I've been bumped down a lot. I go up and down frequently, like just crazy how much I get knocked around in here. So my income isn't that great, and of course I've been spending them on equipment like I always do. I always get Call of the Loyal, and I always get equipment, which is a bummer, but because the patch notes are very clear that you can get it from it, I'm just going to save them. It's not worth those random those random equipment chests. It's just not worth it. It is definitely now worth saving them until we see, and even until next KVK, because your Lost Canyon coins accumulate and don't reset. 100% worth saving them. I really do suggest everybody saves them. So just another thing, the new Artisans Forge event, it's likely going to have a pay to win aspect to it. I've been looking online at the forums, I've been looking on Facebook and the comments all over the place, and I'm surprised at how many people complain, oh, Lilith grabbing money again. It's a pay to win game. We've known this from the beginning. You look at the museum as a recent example. It came out, everybody thought it was going to be for whales only to unlock, the majority of those relics, and then all of a sudden they threw them into events and everyone was like, whoa, sweet. So up front, 100% going to be whales and krakens who can get the most value out of these new systems because they can purchase those bundles, and that's how we continue to get these updates. So I will not be able to max purchase the bundles. I might get the first two because it's pretty cheap. It's $5 and $10, relatively inexpensive for myself in my current situation. So I will probably do those just to test them out, have some videos about it. But yes, this is a pay to win game, and I think anybody who thinks that it can be free to play should give their head a shake, because there will be no updates. There will be no content unless they can hire new programmers and give people raises, because that's just how systems work. I don't know how else to say it. You can look at every game out there right now, and everybody's starting to move to a pay to play kind of mechanism. And in this game, it's always been pay to win. It always has been. It always will be. That's the model they use. So I'm not surprised, and I will embrace it. And I think that Lilith will give us steps to reach whale levels over time. And that's the whole reason I play this game, is because I can play it for a very long time. I can grind. I can, be patient. And yes, I'm going to get wrecked in open field, but in a matter of no time, I'll be able to keep up with those whales. So I do still love the game. I think these updates are fantastic. I love the Desert Conquest improvements. I'm looking forward to the new buffs that give you a huge buff to march speed. Of course, people being critical about it, saying, yeah, it's probably like 10%, or you probably have to buy a bundle in order to get the march speed. But I'm sure it'll be something fantastic. Increased march speed of rooted troops, so you get back faster. I know the big problem people were having was using 50% troop expansions and really only getting an hour of fighting out of it because you had to march so far in season or in Desert Conquest. So I love these improvements. I think it's fantastic. I really look forward to seeing all of them. I like we're getting new commanders. I'm not a fan, and I'll say it again, of them rebranding Scipio. I think they should have just used another historical figure. There's lots of them, and I don't understand why they would have rebranded Scipio. It just opens the door for them rebranding a whole bunch of new commanders. That's the biggest bummer out of this. So out of this update and out of the new commanders, my biggest pet peeve is them rebranding an existing commander who was already, in early game. Scipio was fantastic. I think everybody had Scipio out in open field at early game because he was a tank and he did damage, and it was fun to use him. He had his time. There's you know, no reason to rebrand them in my opinion. We could have found somebody else, or they could have found somebody else, but it is what it is. I'm excited for all of the updates. I think it's going to be fantastic. I hope you guys are excited. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Are you excited? What are you nervous about? I'm sure we can discuss it and, you know, set those nerves at ease, because I think it's going to be totally fine. I think we're going to have a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to these updates. But until next time, guys, that's all I've got. I am, just a heads up, I'm taking the weekend off. I'm going to try and pre-record a couple episodes tomorrow if I have time. I also want to spend time with the family. So I might not have videos this weekend, but I will be back into it again next week, going to a buddy's bachelor party. So it'll be phone off for sure. Just log in, you know, in the morning during breakfast to quickly grab all my stuff and use action points if possible. But until next time, guys, have a good one. See you later. I hope you enjoy your weekend, because I might not see you until then. Later.